This is it, the brand new Lamborghini Temerario that has just been launched here at Quail during Car Week. We're going to take a first look at the follow-up to the Gallardo that arrived 20 years ago, the Huracan that came a decade back. This is the new car, although big changes, no longer with a V10, now with a new hybrid, twin-turbocharged V8 platform. There are 3 electric motors, a total of 920 horsepower. It might be the baby supercar in the lineup, but clearly not a baby car, and we're going to dive into it in full today. Hi guys, I'm Shmi, hello and welcome back to the channel. Let's explore it then, the new Lamborghini Temerario. Let's talk about this then. We've got a lot to run through. We'll go through in detail the exterior, the aerodynamics, the engine, take a sneak peek at the interior later on as well. The big talking point is the fact that it's a V8, it's not a V10. It's been downsized, you could say, but this power plant revs to 10,000 RPM. You have heard that correctly. This is my first time actually seeing the back, and obviously we've got the Revuelto, the big brother, alongside, so we've got a lot of learnings and things that have come through in terms of design, in terms of aero. There is also a lightweight package that can be ordered on top for additional aerodynamics, a larger ducktail spoiler, and saving around 25 kilos of weight from it. You can spec, for example, carbon fiber wheels as well. The power numbers, 920 horsepower. That's a big old number. That's going to boast, well, 0 to 100 kilometers an hour, 62 miles an hour in just 2.7 seconds. And I would hazard a bet that it will go even quicker than that. Top speed, 211 miles per hour. As we take a look around the car to touch on some of the aero elements, and we'll go through these in a little bit more detail, you'll notice here, for example, these daytime running lights, the hexagons, design styling you see all around. These are actually open straight through for airflow. In fact, this is completely open as well behind the headlights, managing air all around the car. They've also improved practicality, usability. You can now fit 2 trolley bags in the front. You can fit additional luggage behind the seats. You can fit a much larger person who's 2 meters, 6'7", can now fit in, which was one of the problems that always plagued Gallardo and Huracan before. Given that, the name Temerario comes from a Spanish fighting bull, as all Lamborghinis, a bull that fought back in 1875, in fact, so very suited to this. It was a name that was rumored for quite a long time in the build-up, and now that the car has arrived, it's actually kept it. I thought they might change that. In fact, a few things about the car. We heard teasers, but borrowing this technology, the 3 electric motors, 1 connected to the rear, 2 of course up front, 4-wheel drive using clever software and systems to work that out, obviously is going to make this a pretty speedy thing to drive, we can be sure of that. Let's talk about the design and go for a closer walk around of the car, but the first thing I want to mention is the shape. This familiar Lamborghini wedge. We've known it from all of the models. They stick very true to that design philosophy. You notice at the front though, the edginess. It's very low, very angular, very aggressive. This is a styling cue we've seen on previous models as well. Of course, in here you've got a lot of cooling. You've also got all of your ADAS systems, so the different radar sensors and things that you would need there. The new style of the headlights as well, the eyes, which maybe we'll see a little bit more of later on. This is what I love though, using these components for aerodynamics, for the benefits that they carry as well. Of course, here we've got the lower carbon fiber front splitter. And as we come around towards the side, this is where you expect to find all the inlets for the cooling towards the engine. Here at the side, up over the top, even behind the quarter windows back there as well. Continue around, there are some interesting cues. Spot here, for example, behind the engine bay covers. At the back, the exhaust tailpipes, the tail lights, all of these hexagonal shapes that continue all around. Again, more coolings, more openings, this very Revuelto-inspired rear design, and the diffuser channels that tuck all the way under, obviously to help with aerodynamics. There's a lot of aero at play working underneath the car. The rear tyres quite exposed back there as well, beneath the reflectors at the back. And then like Revuelto, this view over the rear deck, leaving that engine partly exposed. Do not fear, it is waterproof. That is not a problem, with the firing order plaque that you can see just within. Now, to get the 920 horsepower from that, you have 800 from the combustion engine, followed by an additional 120 from those 3 electric motors. The name badge worn down here with the fighting bull horns at the sides of it, Temerario. I presume in Spanish it's pronounced slightly differently, so I apologize for that. But lots to take in, even the aero work adapted here on the mirrors, the 360 cameras that sit beneath it. And the roof, you'll spot also, is sculpted. The idea behind the shapes of the roofline is to help direct that airflow over the engine bay towards the rear spoiler, which even in the standard version without the Alegrita package sits with a slight ducktail to it as well. But you can see from this angle that wedge, that consistent shape that runs over the top of the entirety of the car, as we know from the previous models. And then from here, spot how open it is at the very front, looking through there down towards the ground. It's those kind of aero benefits and improvements and changes. We've got carbon ceramic brakes here as well, sitting behind the new wheel design that's been presented for this, shot in the Bridgestone rubber as well, worn around it, and the satin blue paintwork of this launch car that's been used to present it here at Quail. Let's talk about the engine, or rather the powertrain, hybrid now. Lamborghini learning a thing or two with Revuelto and also the Urus hybrid. For this time around though, it's no longer the V10. That's a big talking point. The Gallardo arrived with the 5-litre unit. It was updated to 5.2. That was shared into the R8. The Huracan maintained that engine. We've seen it in many different cars over the years, and what an engine it's been. Sounding incredible. Obviously everything a supercar is about. Now though is a new V8. A V8 engine that revs, like I said, to 10,000 RPM. You get max power from 9,000 all the way to 9,750. This is going to sound incredible when you're up towards the red line. So the combustion engine produces 800 horsepower. That alone would already be a staggering number. Remember, the Huracans have bowed out in the low mid 600s. On top of that comes your electric motor setup. Again, a familiar setup that we know from Revuelto, with the electric motor towards the rear, the way it's going to work with electric drive. There's a 3.8 kilowatt hour battery pack in the middle, so you get a small electric range, but very much it's about this instantaneous torque, using electric for the performance benefits. Of course, there is a small weight penalty that comes with this. The car weighs 1,690 kilos dry, so quite a big step up from what we've seen before, obviously with all of the new technology and systems that are included in it as well. But we're led to believe that it's going to sound quite phenomenal. One of the things that they've done is the way that they've mounted the engine is going to cause different vibrations within the cabin that will give you more of a sensory experience. I'm looking forward to seeing how that actually translates and what it's going to be like when we go out and drive it. But in terms of appearance, the way this is presented is pretty special. And all of these numbers and everything we hear about the 8-cylinder engine in here is pointing towards something that's going to be, I can't say anything other than really quite incredible. We'll have to wait until we get to drive it to find out what it's like on the road. Moving to the interior then, let me show you inside here and the learnings again from the big brother. We've got digital displays, we've got new 18-way comfort seats that you can see fitted in here, lots more by way of luggage space and lots more headroom as well. The driver dashboard and steering wheel configuration, similarly to Revuelto, features the larger 12.3-inch display. The passenger has a display over there on the dashboard as well, the 9.1-inch display, and then there's a central screen here, the 8.4-inch display, which is where you have more of your controls and different functionality like we've seen on the bigger brother model as well. Similarly to that, all of the new controls have made their way in. We have the familiar flick switch in the center for the start control. Your gearbox, the dual clutch gearbox, is controlled there as well, and up towards the steering wheel, your combination of different driving modes that can be selected through here, your EV settings and various different controls and toggles, all available very easily, readily available directly on the steering wheel. You'll notice the lower sill for easy entry. Everything about it, obviously a big step forwards. Behind the seat, you can actually, if they're slid slightly further forward, fit some soft bags onto the parcel shelf, the small shelf area that you have there. And the window, again, the hexagonal shape towards the rear, and that view over the deck lid of the engine sitting back there as well. Of course, many options, especially with ad personam for paint colors and interior trims and details. In the case of here, we've got the tan leather with the Lamborghini crest embroidered on the top of the headrest, the contrast or the dual tone as well, and the contrast stitching that you can see around. Lots of carbon fiber for the air conditioning vents, for the instrument cluster surround, and we've got a similar design in the very center as well for the air conditioning area that we saw previously. Also goes without saying, you have the Temerario badge worn right there on the side sills, the entry plaques, and then obviously your mirror and light controls over towards the window, and a Sonos Faber sound system featuring on this car as well. But a quick look that we've been able to have then at the interior. I'm joined now with Mitja. How are you?
Hey, I'm great. Welcome everyone here at Lamborghini with the Lamborghini Temerario.
I'm glad to have heard it being pronounced correctly. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Talk about it. It fits in the lineup. Of course, you're keeping your design DNA, right? It has to be a Lamborghini. It is a Lamborghini.
It is 100% a Lamborghini. First of all, we are here in the beautiful Quail lot. We have the Revuelto here, we have the Temerario here, we have the Urus SE, and this is now the perfect lineup of Lamborghini. The Temerario is our new car, our new baby. Of course, as a designer, you are always proud about, of course. It looks like a Lamborghini because we have our Lamborghini silhouette. We have chosen a design language that I call iconic and essential, with very clean shapes. You see some muscles, the shapes are a little bit more human. the hexagon is a very important element. So we have hexagon taillights, we have a hexagon exhaust pipe, and we will see later, the hexagon DRLs. Yeah? So you can see a lot of hexagons. This is the language that we have used like a rhythm to design this car. The car is very puristic, very clean. It looks very large. Take a look at the front light. It is also having integrated aerodynamics in a quite unexpected way, because using very clean shapes. We have here, for example, an S-duct. We have here the intake for the brake. We have our hexagonal DRL that is characterizing Temerario, but it's also a tunnel. It's an aerodynamical intake. And later, when you have more distance, you can see here there's a little spaceship that is the indicator, like from Star Wars. Yeah.
But there are some familiar design cues as well. The way you style this, for example.
The blades are always a typical element of our design DNA. We are always using. The car is starting with a shark nose, always with the center peak, as we did also on the Revuelto. Clean shapes. It looks large. And you can see all the time in every corner also the integrated aerodynamic. So for example, Temerario is having a larger roominess.
Yeah.
So now you can sit inside with the helmet and so on. We're using a trick. We have here a sort of a gurney bubble, but in a Lamborghini style. So this part is higher, and in the center we are staying lower, because like this we are catching a perfect airstream for our ducktail rear wing. No? And that is perfect for us. Then looking at the rear, motorcycle vibes. First of all, we have the new powertrain. We have designed it in a way that it looks like a motorcycle with the metal mesh, with the structure that we have underneath, looking really cool. And I just love this view. If you take it from this perspective, it looks so sexy. Hexagon exhaust pipe, lower diffuser, and the exposed rear tires.
You've got a lot going on here as well. It's a phenomenal thing. It looks absolutely amazing.
No, it was absolute fun to design this, with all these little elements. Also with the, for example, small details like the radiator that is looking like under a fairing of a super sport motorcycle.
Yeah.
Then the interior, we can also have a quick look at the interior. Interior is following our philosophy, feel like a pilot. So everyone that is having the fun to drive a Lamborghini will feel it. Feel like a pilot means a super low seat position, a lightweight dashboard. The exterior looks a bit like a spaceship. Inside we have an alien. Yeah, so for me, if you use your fantasy, you see a little bit this alien look on the center console. In this case here, we have also our new comfort seat. But you also need to see then the second version that we have brought here to California. There's the Lamborghini Temerario Alleggerita, which is a lightweight version. But you will have a second video then, where you see the engine bonnet in carbon fiber, where you see the rocker panel in carbon fiber, the ducktail wing that is even higher and steeper, and the carbon fiber wheels.
Sounds amazing. Thank you very much for the tour.
You're welcome.
What a car. Congratulations again.
I hope you like it. I like it. And
Absolutely.
Enjoy the day.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you. Ciao, everyone. Ciao.
While we're here, we absolutely must take a look around the specification of this particular Revuelto. I mean, look at this. The full exposed carbon fiber roof, carbon fiber engine cover, even the carbon active wing here as well. And then obviously via ad personam, Lamborghini's bespoke and personalization department, they've added the pinstripe lines that you see on the diffuser, the line that runs over the engine cover and the roof, contrasting in the bright red against the navy blue, even here on the mirror cap, matching with the brake calipers, and of course around the front splitter. This is a very good looking car. And the Revuelto, when it launched with this hybrid setup for the first time from Lamborghini in a supercar, had some big footsteps to follow, the likes of the Miura, Countach, Diablo, Murcielago, Aventador, but it's been extraordinarily well received, thanks in part, of course, to maintaining the 6.5 litre naturally aspirated V12, and who can complain about anything with a V12? The performance benefits, though, being really at the forefront of what it's about, adding that electric motor setup to offer you more performance, to offer you the electric driving possibility, to fill the gaps, and to basically make it possible to keep an engine like this in a modern supercar, something we're seeing fewer and fewer of out on the market. But when you look at this, though, you see some of the design elements, namely the curvature around the rear, the hexagonal shapes of things like the exhaust tailpipes, the ypsilons, the Ys for different light elements that you see around the car. You'll notice that equally at the side, the way Lamborghini keep this Y shape, and these elements maintain that family feel and family portfolio look when you hop from one car to another. On Revuelto, you've got aero going through the bodywork here with these floating buttresses helping for the cooling, but also managing the airflow that goes over the car towards the rear wing. It's about tying all of these things in together. Even carbon fiber here down to the bottom of the A-pillars, around the nose of the car here as well. Obviously using lightweight materials, also looking pretty amazing in the process. And you see many of these elements now that we've looked at this car carrying through here. Notice again, you've got a Y shape almost that comes out actually the opposite way around, coming from the rear arch forwards and then spreading out towards the front. Those aero elements that go through the car, as I've mentioned, even back here at the rear, you've got aero elements and things dipping down through the bodywork. I'm going to squeeze through over here though to come and show you the Urus SE on this side, the hybrid Urus. Again, introducing that using the 4-litre twin turbocharged V8 and the hybrid setup, obviously in Lamborghini's supercar truck, as they would say, supercar SUV, super sports utility vehicle, quite literally, but very much a blue theme on the Lamborghini stand at this year's show. I think it might even be the first time I've really had a proper look around the Urus SE, which obviously forms part of the trio of cars, the family, the V12 supercar, the V8 supercar, and the V8 utility vehicle, all in that lineup. But again, spot the shapes, the hexagonals, even the edgy arches of the Urus, which it's now been part of the lineup for a number of years. It's certainly been in the portfolio for a short while. Obviously has seen tremendous success for the company, as has the Gallardo and Huracan platform. That's more entry-level supercar platform since it was introduced back at the time, and I'm sure we're going to see similarly with Temerario going forwards. I think that's pretty much it then from here at the Lamborghini stand at Quail, Car Week 2024, the introduction of Temerario. A big thanks to Mitja, head of Centro Stile, Lamborghini's design department, for showing us around it in a little bit more detail. So what do you think? Is this a worthy successor to the ever popular Huracan? All of the different derivatives we've seen over the years, and I'm sure we're going to be seeing some more versions of this to come as well. For now, I look forward to finding the Alleggerita version, the lightweight version, to learn a little bit more about that. But I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you as always for watching. I appreciate your support, and stay tuned for plenty more from here at Quail and during Car Week. That's it for now, and I'll see you again very soon. Cheers!